When people think of Les Dennis, family fortunes and pantomimes probably tend to spring to mind. Is that fair?
Yes, probably.
Probably. Yeah. Now the comedian turned actor is to star in something much darker, though.
He's playing the role of the disgruntled husband, Victor Smiley, in an adaptation of the Peter James novel, The Perfect Murder. It's the first time the crime thriller will be played out on stage. Les Dennis and Peter James both join us now.
Morning.
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 Have you seen it yet, Peter?
I saw a run-through last 2 Saturdays ago.
OK.
And
we're still in rehearsal.
Pretend he's not here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Still in rehearsal. I absolutely loved it. I've had 3 books adapted for movies, which I've hated all of them with a vengeance. This adaptation of The Perfect Murder, it's the first stage adaptation I've had of any of my work. I was in raptures when I first saw the script, and when I watched the run-through, it was much funnier. I mean, it was a dark story. It's about a husband who's planning to murder his wife, who doesn't realise that his wife is planning to murder him. And I wrote it quite dark, with humour. I was in hysterics, and there's a scene in which a character is murdered, I won't say who, and wrapped up and packaged up, and I was just splitting my sides.
Well, maybe that says more about you than anything else.
Yeah, my dark mind, you know. Watch that.
We get into the theatre next week. We get to Dartford, and that's where we start. Obviously, then with the set and everything, that it really comes to life.
Tell us about your character, Victor Smiley, because I think, from what I understand, he's not likeable.
Well, the thing is, you've got to an audience, make a character likeable, even though they're being horrific. Which is a tall order, but he's certainly Joan doesn't like him anymore. She's fed up with him. You know, all those little niggles in a marriage, like the fact that he hums the Dam Busters, remarkably strange coincidence. All those little things that get on that they loved about each other now niggle them, and they've got to the stage. 20 years in, Claire Goose plays my wife, and she's amazing. The whole cast are fantastic, and they just have that whole thing of wanting to kill each other.
And the humming thing, that would, I mean, it is annoying, humming, isn't it?
Humming is annoying. Yeah.
After a while, it's enough to make you want to, isn't it?
It's a great tune, but it can be quite sinister as well.
Yeah. But that's the whole point. I mean, you know, these little niggles, etc., you know, it's quite one thing to have them, but to take them, Peter, from your point of view, onto the whole nother level. How do you, as a writer, where's that coming from?
Well, I was asked if I was sat next to the Chief Constable at a dinner about 6 years ago, and Martin Richards in Sussex, and I said, do you think there's such a thing as a perfect murder? And he said, absolutely, it's the one we never hear about. And we have 600 homicides a year in the UK that are investigated. The police reckon there are another 600 at least that we never hear about. And how many of those, I started thinking, we were talking about this, and I said, how many of those do you think are husbands who've successfully murdered their wives and buried them under the kitchen floor, or wives who've successfully poisoned their husbands and told their friends, oh, Harry, he's run off to Sydney with his girlfriend? And the police reckon a lot. And that's what gave me the idea for the play. And I think it's those little things in a marriage that drive people absolutely nuts. It's the snoring, it's... And
Victor's a snorer.
Bless Les, he's got a big heart, this guy. He's wonderful. Because I wrote this guy as a pig, totally arrogant, and I said to Les...
With me in mind.
I said, you're my dream cast for it.
What is it? But Les, he's a very jolly...
Lovely. Yeah, well...
sort of chap.
You wait till you see him in the play. Did
you have to dig deep?
You know, it's great to play when people expect you to be nice, and that's what my persona, I suppose, is. The Julie Andrews of comedy, the Mary Poppins of comedy. So, you know, to have to play somebody who does become quite horrifically scary is great. You know, it's nice. The flip side of the coin.
Absolutely, and quite refreshing for you as well.
Yeah, it's great. It's great fun. Yeah.
I think there is a very closeness between comedy and darkness. You know, they really do coexist. You know, the police have gallows humour. It's the way they cope. Yeah. And I think there is that very fine balance between what is funny and what is scary. And in the play, we seem to manage to cut across both those really well.
I think the conventional wisdom is it's a lot easier for an actor to go from funny to serious than it is to go the other way round. For you know, someone try and be funny when they've been, you know,
I suppose so.
Roles.
Yeah. That's. I think what was Edmund Kean on his deathbed? He was asked, "What's it like to die?" And he said, "Dying's easy, comedy's hard." So you know, I think for an actor, comedy does seem something you know, if you don't make an audience laugh, you know about it straight away.
You see some. Well, you haven't done live shows yet, have you? Because you may see some uncomfortable couples sitting in the in the auditorium.
I think. I mean,
planning it when they go home.
When the book came out, it was very successful. To my surprise, because and I think obviously it touched a nerve in married couples.
Yeah.
You know, I think so many married couples do sit there opposite the breakfast table, thinking, I would very easily kill you. I wonder how many couples have not at some point in their life that one has not thought of murdering the other.
That's a picture of our audience you've just painted.
We've just come through Christmas. You know, the rise in domestic violence at Christmas.
So you know what? We had a lawyer and a counsellor talking about that earlier. They said, go and get help before any of that comes into your mind.
Before this happens,
Goodness me.
Before you go this far.
Perfect Murder, the play, starting soon. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. Thank you very much. We're back tomorrow morning. We'll see you then. Have a really great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A rainy day visit from the Cat in the Hat. Classic Dr. Seuss next on BBC One.
This waiting is killer.